Good morning, everyone. It is another amazing Humanity Rising Day. Anneloes Smitsman just knocks me out. I love her so much. And I did get the feeling that perhaps you might like her too. Kat, you had a lot of input in the chat of Humanity Rising. Would you like to weigh in?
Oh my goodness, it's such a deep delight to be in the face of a master. I wish that she were here right now to hear this, but throughout the time of Humanity Rising, anytime that Anneloes comes up, I show up. So just I'm grateful for her wisdom and her deep understanding of connection to Earth. That's all.
That,
Gene
that
Houston are an
that's
incredible pair.
I'm sorry, Kurt, what did you say?
She and Gene Houston are an incredible pair, and then they also play sometimes with Neil Donald Walsh up there and Ashland and all that good stuff. And it's magic that is created, and we get to be able to participate in the magic in the ways that we can, and it's exciting times.
It certainly is exciting times. Thank you so much. I thought you had a peacemaker meeting to go to or something.
I have a
And
Peacemaker
not that
one.
I'm complaining, I'm
The
always happy.
Rotary one is The Rotary one seems to be the next week. It alternates weeks for the St. Petersburg meeting, but this
Ah,
evening is another international one that happens normally at 6:30, and you can get on early at 6 if you'd like to. If anybody's interested, I can put the link into the chat.
that would be
Welcome,
lovely.
Anneloes. Thank you so much. What a wizard you are.
Thank you.
Wizard is perfect. Perfect.
It's always fun with Jim.
Well, good morning, Annalise, and evening to you, I'm sure.
Yes, it's late here. Yes.
It is so nice to have you join us. As you know, I'm Shannon MacArthur, and I
Of
moderate
course, we met many times. Yes,
But
yes.
there's going to be people watching this in the future, and they're going to be wondering why I'm such a mouthy broad. Um, so now that they know why, Anneloes, what an amazing presentation and game. You're
Thank you.
the wisdom that we have collected through our lives is being given
Yes.
to our youngsters.
Yes, that's it. You
For
got
the
it.
this is what it's all about. Thank you
Yes.
so much for the work that you're doing.
Mm.
It's so exciting. And Mary gets to talk next. Come on in, Mary.
Thanks, Shannon. Anneloes, hi, nice to meet you.
Hi,
Are
nice to
are
meet
you
you.
are you in the Netherlands? Where are you?
Oh, I am Dutch indeed, but I am actually right now Mauritius. And Mauritius is a small island in the Indian Ocean next to Madagascar. So,
Ah,
which is why I am sitting like this because it's very hot here.
and
It's
it's
like the
cold here.
tropics. Yeah, and it's cold there, exactly.
What has you be
Yes.
there?
My family and my kids. So I will be going back to the Netherlands in a couple of years when they're older. But yeah, the
Okay.
kids have been growing
Okay.
up here. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say that I've known Lynn Twist over all these decades when I learned fundraising from her in the Hunger Project.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So, and she's why I came to Humanity Rising in May of 2020. And so
Yes.
I started making a list of people that I'm going to share this game with. And, and you talk about the young people having this available. But what I can hear is that it's a game for all generations.
Yes, you're
That's
right.
what I call myself. I don't call myself a baby boomer. I call myself a regenerationist.
Oh, I love that.
I'm part of the regeneration, the RE generation. Anyway,
Yes.
I've been restoring and rebuilding and regenerating for years. So when I started looking, that's what I went. I'm part of the regeneration. Anyway, so what I love about it, because like Jim, it's like, okay, I'm playing this. And
Right.
then I literally started making a list of people that I'm going to share it with.
Fantastic.
So I live in West Virginia. And if you don't know West Virginia, it's one of the poorest, the bottom 5 poorest states in the United States. Bad health, poor education, poor people, all of that. So I've been looking for a way to make a difference here. And
Yes.
I was saying this last summer, I hate West Virginia. And then I went like, no, that's not the truth. I love the land, but I hate the people. And I went like, that's not true. I don't hate anything. And then as I looked deeper, what came up for me, and I started crying. I got so moved. I went like, I'm so frustrated. I can't make a difference. So there have been lots of things that I've heard and they just haven't fit. But this is access for me
Yes.
to impact, the colleges, the grandparents, the kids in the school systems here
That's it.
in such a way that it can begin shifting that underneath abstraction of you or me that I've been for 45 years consciously shifting to a you and me world. So I am so grateful. I put in the chat of Humanity Rising.
Yes.
I just got it written by the end before when you were saying goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm this year in 2025 celebrating having worked on the Gates project in Central Park in New York City 20 years ago.
Wow.
Do you know that project?
Right. Okay. Tell me more. Yes.
By Christo and Jean-Claude.
Yes.
So they wrapped the Reichstadt and they did the Pont Neuf in Paris and projects all over the world. And this was in Central Park. And I worked all 6.5 weeks on building, monitoring for 2 weeks, and then removing. They what do you call it when you reuse everything? So everything in their project is planned
repurposing
for yeah. And so anyway, was this month, February in 2005, that I stood in Central Park with hundreds of other people. They called us their art makers. And why I bring it up is that they never took any corporate contributions because they weren't willing to sacrifice their integrity for their projects. And so they sold art and they sold, books and films and all that kind of stuff from their projects because the projects were only ever up 2 weeks. And so like for the Gates, it took them 26 years to plan and go through all the meetings and get all the approval and find a date. And, the project shifted over that time. But that is all part of their art. So anyway, why I bring it up is I'm like every day took notes.
Yes.
I had this little book that I carried around in my uniform so every day. And then now I'm keeping a new little book of what's happening as we're going. So this just went into my little book.
Yes.
And the connection between the two. And then just one other thing I want to say, because Jim has been saying, we're 90 seconds till a nuclear explosion. And every time it and one day about a month ago, I went like, how come nobody's saying we're 90 seconds away from a transformation of the world where the world shifts over? So that's what I've been saying like the sun and the moon and the, you know, the light and the shadows, and they all exist at the same time. And we are the ones that are here holding the space for that.
Yes.
That's why I'm here. That's why I've been
Yes.
practicing and mastering the ability to do this, to lead other people.
Exactly.
Anyway,
For the
so
transformation.
I
I
yes,
love it.
yes. I can't wait to play your game, and I hope you put, well, I found your website, so
Yeah,
I'll
let me
send
put it, let me put that there so you all
that'd
have
be
that.
great.
And what also I want to offer is for anyone, let me see, I need to put it in the everyone, yeah, like that. So here it is. So
Great.
sign up there. So the only thing you need to do is just put your email there, and then you get the link to play the game, because otherwise I can't reach out to people. So as I'm listening to you all, what we could do is I can even create a training session for how you can take the game out in your community. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah, and then we can just record that, and then you use that recording in whatever way you want. I mean, that's, to me, I just want to empower as many people as I can to work with this game, to empower again more people. You know, I mean, that really is the intention. How can we together create the maximum goodness?
And then by you doing that with us,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
it just keeps expanding, because
That's it.
you can now use that instruction that everybody
Exactly.
can send it out and on to
Exactly. Because I started
Shannon's
doing that with the Earth School in the Philippines, and it
cool.
was just so wonderful. There was a student there. He's 14 years old, and now I've been training him, and now he's teaching the other students, and so you have this snowballing effect, and that's just so beautiful. So, yeah, sign up here.
Thank you.
Maybe Shannon has a way of organizing our emails. Then we can
Actually,
just
what I'd like to do,
come
Anneloes,
online, and yes, please,
is
Shannon.
on Saturday. If you're available on Saturday at noon Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern time, that is the time when Stan and I get together anyway. That's when we have our deep dives.
That is midnight for me.
Oh my God.
So I might be sleeping then.
3 hours earlier. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you
Is a
think,
good.
I have a
Stan?
brief suggestion for
Yes,
Anneloes.
please. Yes.
Right here on my screen on the upper right corner is one
Yeah.
of the best people to have as a trainer and a host for your training for how to train people. Her name's Kat Haber,
Mm.
and is a marvelous organizer and
Oh, good.
a giant of a person for the world. Okay. The
Excellent
climate
idea.
is important to her, and she is an amazing person for organizing and teaching. And so thank you, Kat, for being who you are. You just got my recommendation
That's
for
And
great.
Anneloes
If you
to take
can,
advantage of
yeah.
your services as a host for the training of the trainers.
And she does a lot of work with kids.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. That is great. Yes, please. If you can help with that. If I don't have to do that coordination, I can just be that, show up for you all, and I give you the training and everything else, and someone else can help in that way. That would be marvelous.
it's
Yes.
so good, Stan, that you have suggested Kat. And Kat, you and
Thank you, Kat.
no deep dives necessary on Saturday. And midnight is no time to be playing games. Thank you so much. Patricia, come on in.
Hello, hello all. Hello. I love game playing, but I have a question, which is something that is behind my stage, because about 10, 15 years ago, I was talking to my grandson and I suggested to him exactly that, because he was going into learning how to media and all that. And I says, well, how about creating a game more or less on the line that you came up with? That was about 10, 15 years ago. And what my concern is, and this is what I want to ask you, because I have helped a youngster put a game on the road, which is being now taken up in schools here in Brazil, which is it's not AI, it's directly going out into the neighborhood, and there's and seeing what you have, what you are, how's your neighborhood doing, do you have this and that, and there's an exchange, and there's little figures. It's a beautiful game that was created in order to stimulate the students to look around their neighborhood and see what's on the road, and how can they come up with it? And it's beautiful. Now, after many years, it's rolling in the public schools. Saw your game, I said, wow, it's beautiful because it's a win-win, and that's what I always have dreamt of. However, my question is, which I'm afraid of seeing all these kids playing with a cell in their hands or the computer, and they're addicted to the little instrument that we carry around, either ourselves or a computer, glued to it. Is your game, and that's my question, does your game have a timing? Does it promote going out and looking around the neighborhood and seeing what nature has to offer, so they don't get addicted to playing
Yes.
it? Playing is wonderful, but you can get addicted to it.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, of course. But that's why I was saying to Jim, a game match takes about 5 minutes if you play really well, or maximum 15 minutes. Yeah. And then the match is over. So it's not hours and hours. That is the first thing. And as part, when we're doing the Earthrise education sessions together with the game, then the idea is to use the game as a way to have the deeper conversations. For example, there's a card of the turtle in the game. And when you play the turtle, you win back time. But if you don't protect the turtle and the turtle gets killed, then you lose the time that you've won. So here we have then a means to, for example, when they have played the turtle, to afterwards in the session to say, let's talk about that turtle. What is that turtle in your life? What does a turtle represent? And what does it mean for you to protect and to make sure that you have also the right and win-win strategies, the right strategies around that, to not to think, okay, I'm done now. I don't have to protect nature anymore, or everything's going to be okay. So the way I see that the game, if we want to use the game educationally, it's not about playing all the time in the game. It's about utilizing the game as a way to have these conversations. Or to, for example, to talk about, okay, when the Moloch was trying to attack your guardian, what was coming up for you? And if you're faced with a bully at school, or a bully at home, or a bully in your neighborhood, all what they do is just try to provoke you. What are the strategies and the abilities in the cards that you've been playing that give you some protection and to then help you to work differently with that? So I think it's these conversations and the way of using the game to then go out to be in nature, but also to talk about what the Moloch in our lives, that is really important. So this is ultimately how I hope that people will play the game. For myself, what I do sometimes and that's funny because I was not a gamester at all. I started doing this because of my kids were playing these games, and I wanted to give them another option. But what I do now myself, in order to kind of access these subconscious abilities and layers of wisdom, is sometimes when I'm faced with a challenge that I have to solve during the day, I start my morning and I play a little match, and I start to see what cards am I being dealt with, what are my strategies, how conscious am I of what I'm doing. And then I may, for example, one example that is when this cosmic serpent that I played in the game. So, for example, I was focusing on the cosmic serpent, but in order to win back time with the serpent, you have to use another card next to it in right order. Initially in the morning, when I was faced with this difficulty, this problem that I needed to solve, and I was only focusing on one solution. So funny enough, when I played the game, I noticed I played that card. I forgot to put another card next to it, and I lost the game. So I asked myself, what's life teaching me here in this situation? I then went back and said, okay, let's be really conscious now. Let's time it well. let's know what's the right time to play this. How do I build my synergies and around that? And then I won this match, and then I let it go. Then during the day, I found myself getting all kinds of creativity with the problem that I tried to solve, which before, because I was feeling stressed and tensed about it, when I was going into tunnel vision, maybe I should just do this, do that. Now I had just played 10 minutes of a match, 2 matches, one I lost and one I won. But then during the day, it's like my mind was primed now for new possibilities. And then I started to think about all these different ways in which I could combine one strategy with another to create a bit, a greater goodness.
And now I want to ask one more question.
Yes.
I represent Pachamama Alliance in Brazil, and
Oh,
their
great.
video,
Yes.
not the Game Watcher, it's a Dream for the World, whatever. I forget now. The first, I translate it to Portuguese and put legends and everything so that it could be used, and I use it sometimes. This video of Awakening the Dreamer. So I wonder if on the long run I could have access to the game and maybe even get a group of youngsters to translate it into Portuguese.
That'd be wonderful. Yes.
That would be very nice, because I have some context. It's not me. I can do the legends and help, but I can get a little group of youngsters to help with that. And so I would love to be able to bring it to Brazil along with just like as Pachamama somehow.
Would love that. And both John and Lynn are part of our advisors as well. So yes, they are dear partners. Yes, that would be great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's spreading over the world, Anneloes. I'm
so beautiful.
And next we have Catherine, and she and Marcel de Berg just got connected as well. And so this is boiling good. Come on in, Catherine.
Oh, Annalise, I'm so thrilled with what you're doing. I have had games in my mind for 30 years and not been able to do much about it, but you've really hit the nail on the head. That is exactly right. And I have 2 questions for you.
Yes,
One,
yes.
A lot of my work has had to do with reincarnation and what that really means for us in our life, because people at different soul level ages see with the world differently. They just don't have the same. And I'm wondering if that would be of interest to you. I could share that work with you and see if that would be something that you could, if you find that useful, I would love to do that.
Yes, please. Yeah, share it. I can't promise to read a lot. But if it's not about reading, then
and
that would be great.
More complicated. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
That would be great. Yes, I have a question on that for you then, on reincarnation. Sure. So, with these kind of new kits that are coming right now, so in the game we've kind of played this out as these codes of a new time, and how the kind of these new young souls that are coming, but some of them are also very, very old, right? What have you noticed in these younger generations that are coming, and their specific kind of consciousness and abilities for this time in which we are now?
Well, there certainly are generations, star children, the indigo children, all of those. And it's sad because I know a few, and their parents are so not there that they're really struggling. They have so little support for accepting who they are and being able to feel confident in their own understandings. I mean, that's one of the big lessons in life, right? Is to trust yourself, trust others, and how you manage that. And that's a soul level growth as well. So when people are not there, then they use these other tools, which is why I thought it would be interesting. And because I've wanted to do a game with this for 30 years, just as a way to get people to see how they're not bad and wrong for not being old.
Beautiful. Okay. Yes.
They just are where they are. And to begin to appreciate who they are and where they are, and to be able to bloom from that place instead of feeling like they should be something else and someone else. And I think that's I mean, that's just true of everybody in human form, as far as I'm concerned. So the more we can
Yes.
support them, and I really see the game
Yes.
doing that,
Exactly.
it gives
That's
because
right.
they can grow in that confidence and grow in that understanding of trust, self-trust, which is really, really key
Yes.
to all of
Exactly.
this.
And it connects them with these 5 future archetypes. Then I feel are archetypes that belong to this new era and this future consciousness. And I've noticed for the kids that that's really important.
Yeah, and I loved your I forget what you called it, but the barriers that people have to go through.
Yes, the systemic barriers, right?
Brilliant. Just
Exactly.
really,
Yes.
really brilliant. So a
Yes.
second question I have for you
Yes.
is about money, because money is really key to this in a lot
Yes.
of different ways. And you alluded to it in how you are going through your own process of trying to bring this in.
Yes.
Have you incorporated some of that into the game? Because I think that's a growth place that we really, really need to shift, is to understand
Yes.
how we empower each other through,
Yes.
I'm using monetary because I don't know another word,
Yes.
with methods of exchange, and how do we do that? And I know some people are
Yes.
grappling with it, but I haven't heard anything really significant.
Yes. Well, our
Okay.
challenge right now is I need to secure the funding to keep going. And
Yeah.
because a lot of it I've carried myself, there comes a point that I can't anymore. And I have reached out to different people with money or investors. Many of them, they want this profit making traditional, they want the kind of games that this is not it for. So, and then there have been people who've been offering, but with clearly the wrong intentions, where I said, no,
we got to be careful.
we're not going to do that. But in terms of the relationship with money and resources, the reason why we have a token and why I want to launch that token in a way that it is what we call a cryptographic token, that means that every token holder, everyone who plays the game and earns a token, becomes a co-owner of the game. And with the token, you have a governance also. So you have a say in it. And through that, we can then create this collective treasury, so that people can then, actually really start to understand, what does it mean now? If we're building these new civilizations, we're using the game to experiment in the building of that. How do we then collectively decide on, for example, okay, saying that the tokens is a pot of tokens worth $100,000, and we know there are 10 projects there that we can allocate $10,000 per project, to now support people on the ground. And that is really also my intention, is that we're creating a game economy system that is tied to real life, that can actually start to put funding and money into a lot of projects of really, great projects of great people who otherwise have no way of accessing that. I've worked in a nonprofit for so long, and I have found that some of the most, toxic environment is actually in the nonprofit, because everyone is trying to pitch for the same funding, and it creates competitions among nonprofits, and I think that's not right. So that's also why I'm insisting on in really being able to create positive impact with what we're doing, even with the token.
I want to endorse Catherine's abilities, her knowledge, her wisdom. I'm constantly blown away. Thank you so much, Catherine. Kurt, come on in.
Oh boy, there's so much that can be spoken about, because this is life. And you excite me about one of the teams that I'm on. It's the LA Unified School District, which is second largest in America, the climate curriculum group. And also Dave Finnegan, who has a great little game that he's created. Um, and to be able to spread this around, to be able to have everybody be able to take advantage of the gaming ideas, the cross-pollinating ideas,
Yes.
and I know that you are an evolutionary leader, as far as I understand.
Yes,
And
that's right. Yes, we're proud of that. Yes.
make sure you get this on the calendar. I'm not sure how this can be done, but that event that you're going to have with Jim Garrison down in Baja, that
Yes.
be on that calendar because that'll get out to all the evolutionary leaders. And then myself as a person who's a member of a member of one Rotary Club, but I attend a bunch of others. We can get this out to the Rotary members, and
Perfect.
if anybody's a Lions Club member or there's any other kinds of clubs, this is the
Yes,
thing we got is all this cross-pollinating has to happen.
that's it.
Well, I have so much to talk to you about, but
I love that. Thank you. And just reach out to me. We'll hop on a call and we work out that further how we can do that. And I absolutely love also the idea of cross-pollination because that to me is important. It's that it can inspire other approaches so that if I'll give you an example. We just applied for the UNAP Playing for the Planet Alliance, and we're probably the smallest gaming studio that are going to be part of that. And we're starting to play the Green Game Jam activations that will be starting next week. And the big game studios are there. Now, they probably won't see us as a threat because we are so small, right? And a lot of this is non-profit. But the idea here is that it can also help inspire them. How can they change the game? So to me, if ultimately some of those win-win strategies, this wisdom-based, consciousness-driven, if this can also, if I see that being part of mainstream games 10 years from now, I feel we've achieved our mission.
I think you need to have bigger goals, Anneloes, because you will be swept in the tsunami that is coming.
The making of movies. Imagine this little simple
Yes.
movie. All we see is violence on the screen now. When we have what dreams may come kinds
yes.
we get to be able to get all the peoples to be able to be exposed to this incredible beauty that's within them and everyone else, and to be able to play together, dance together, and sing together.
Yes, I love that.
Kurt, I want to point out, Anneloes, I want to point out that Davidson is in the room. Davidson is a member of the Rotary Club of Bungoma in central Kenya.
Yes.
And so he wants to connect with you guys, get together, and
I love that.
This you have no idea what you have started, Anneloes.
I had a really tough day this morning. It was really hard to keep going because I had submitted another funding project proposal that I really want to know, and so all of you are medicine to my soul right now because it's this. Thank you. I can't thank you enough.
I got reminded today that we have to seek beauty.
Yes, that's it. Exactly.
What you have created has so much beauty in it. And the fact that it's free beauty. I mean,
yes.
Oh my gosh. You've done a really, really good job, Anneloes.
Thank you.
Stan, you're up next.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Shannon, for being our great host, and for Anneloes for being here with us. I am a big fan. Okay, you must not know that, but I'm also a fan of something that I am so very worried about, and that is the seeds movement. And I happen to know that you wrote the Constitution for the Seeds organization.
Yes.
And somehow or other, we as people who would like to understand and participate in seeds need to have it made a little easier. And Sean and I will attest to the difficulty we have found in understanding how to participate at any level, because it seems to be a very much of an inside group. They have had two people on Humanity Rising and spokespeople for it that were eloquent, but then participating in it became unending in how to.
I had the same experience, and this is frankly why I moved out.
Oh, you've moved down. Okay, well, maybe we can ask you to move back, because we need somebody inside to help us make it.
The thing is that it had a lot of beautiful promises and visions. And that constitution was very complex because, in fact, there was another constitution they wrote before that was way more complex. So when I came in, I was asked to kind of integrate that into what I was doing, and I was like,
Okay.
oh gee. So I tried to do that because I wanted to honor also everyone, everything, all the work that had been done before that. But that's why
Yes.
the Earthrise Constitution came after that, because that's a lot simpler. Because then I had the free space. I didn't have to work with all the documents.
Yes.
But the problem there is, and I'm saying this with all my love and care for these beautiful people who've been keeping it going, but the technology doesn't work. And token design doesn't work well either. So I think Seeds gave this kind of promise that you could have an alternative economic system as well and a governance system, but the token it's not really launched in that way. So it only works, in its own ecosystem, which is then limited. And this is where I noticed then that it kind of gave the wrong expectation to people. And then they made there was so many disagreements within the community themselves, and it became so complex. And in fact, that constitution was there to help guide them, through that. But there was a point where I just stepped away and I went like, okay, this is but you need to have a technology that works. And this is why I took a very different approach to our token, the ERA token, because I said it has to be launched on decentralized exchanges as a cryptographic token that can have real life economic value. Because what I didn't want to do is to work with a token that only in its own ecosystem works as an exchange mechanism, but that means people are putting so much volunteering time in. And then, when it comes to using that token in real life, they can't. It's just almost like a barter system. So this is why I worked then to get.
Well, they were good
experience,
Anneloes.
Incredible, and incredible and beautiful people. It's very complex. So I think that with Seeds, the vision was so large, and they took on so much. But the lesson that I've learned in that is that it seems that when we are working with these deep ambitions of a planetary civilization, a new world, all of that, we're all tapping into these codes, and it's like we're all tapping into that architecture. The challenge is to understand what of that is mine to do. And if you try to do it all, and I've made that mistake myself too, too much and to make too many promises, because it's like you're seeing inside this new way, and you get so excited and passionate about that, but then you end up not creating anything that really truly works. And then people, instead of being able to work with that, they get discouraged, or they lose hope, or they say it's not going to work. So I think it's so important to know, each of us as architecting, what's ours to do, and then do that really well. This is why I then started to focus on the game, for example. Just do that well, and then hook up, link up, connect up, and then start building. Everyone bring their own gifts, and then start building that larger ecosystem.
Well, what we are here are connectors.
Okay? Yes, I see that. It's so beautiful.
This is my answer to the Whole Earth catalog. Okay, if you remember that, most people don't.
Yes.
It's too long ago, but the process that I've created in something I call other networks is paying homage to the Whole Earth catalog. And there's something else I want to put into your ear. The process of time banking was represented very beautifully in one of the first earliest episodes of Humanity Rising by the founder, who was Brazilian and had founded Believe. It's spelled funny, but its purpose was to give people opportunities to be of service to each other by exchange, and to keep track, as a time bank does, of who has done how much time for who, and so on. And it vanished when the pandemic happened. And I'm not sure, I haven't been able to find out, or haven't had the time to try to reach the founder to see why it went away. But it was the world's largest time bank at one point. And I thought, wow, and I love time banks. Other networks is my answer to matching up people who want something with people who want something else. And the idea of a time bank to exchange my capacity with somebody else, even though it's not this exactly it's not a one-on-one transaction, but it's a time bank. It keeps track of who has done what for who. And we need that at a global level. That time bank could be a component in your game. Then how do we help each other? Well,
Yes.
this person says they need this. Well, I can do that. I can teach that. I can, yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's and you want to get me to stop because my whole life is geared with matchmaking.
Thank you.
And how do we
That's
get
beautiful.
and you can
You're a pattern weaver in one of the the guardians that you can play in Elowyn. So the Gabo is the pattern weaver. So
okay.
you're
Well,
the
he's
pattern
al-
weaver of new possibilities.
he's also
Yeah.
an archivist, Anneloes.
Incredible.
And
Yes.
he's created the Archive of Humanity Rising in
Yes,
other.
I know because every day I
Yeah.
get your email.
Good.
Sent.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What we before we go into Mary's question, I want to
Yes.
let you know that we are in the process of creating a trust for the Archive of Humanity Rising.
Nice.
And
That's
if
beautiful.
there is any way that other networks could, we want to throw it all into one basket. If other networks can support what's going on in your game, we're thinking about creating an AI that could go into other
Oh,
networks
that's nice.
and find
Yes.
episodes that people would be interested in
Yes.
that moment. Now,
Matchmaking.
yeah,
Nice. Very nice.
I call it a librarian, but whatever. If I don't put the seed in, it couldn't grow. So I have now
Yes.
planted the seed.
Very nice.
Thank you. Mary's up next. Come on in, Mary.
Well, I just want to acknowledge and like kind of hold the space for this is what it looks like when you shift the context. When the context shifts, all new actions take place. And the other thing that I can hear, I started this little thing called the I Promise Bank, I don't know, in 2010, where people could put their promise for the world, like what's the world going to be like because they're on the planet. And I had no idea. It was kind of like, like it just grew in the space. Anyway, what I can hear is every person on this that's spoken or not spoken, all the, like what you said, Annalise, about each person can bring their gift. I work with the human design work, the science of differentiation. And what it says is each one of us is designed for a specific, we each have our own like fingerprints, have what we're here to contribute. And if we can let go of all that other stuff that we've been told we should or shouldn't and all that stuff. Anyway, that's what I'm hearing as each person is sharing, that you have provided us, the world, this place to come together and bring all of our gifts and then use it to connect and give out to the world. So thank you for all the work that everybody's done, because only in the space of what everybody has done can what, Annalise, what you've created come to life. So thank you for every person's contribution. And specifically, thank you for listening to the universe, Annalise, to be able to put this in a place where people can access it for all of us. So just thank you, thank you, thank you,
Thank you
you.
so much. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I really nurtured. Now I feel incredibly supported by you all, and that's exactly the vision. You know, how do we create spaces where everyone's gift matters,
I
but
wanted
also
to
where,
say,
you know, where we
oh, go ahead.
remember, yeah, when we, because this is what I've noticed a lot of the times. Sometimes we didn't know we had that gift until somebody else reminds us. Hey, you know, like Shannon was just doing now as well, and Stan as well, weaving, yeah. And then we go, oh yes, I do have this gift to bring forth, and I can do this. So we do need each other. We need the whole in order also
And
to be activated. Yes.
if you can do it, so can each one of us.
Exactly.
I wanted to say one
Yes.
last thing. I have a
Yes.
nephew who was like vice president of Twitch.
Wow,
in
that's
San
pretty big role. Yeah.
He grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. He
Yeah.
started playing games and calling games in his basement, just generated out of his own love, and became literally internationally known. He's called DJ Wheat or something like that.
Ah.
Anyway, it's like I couldn't think of his name. I knew it started with an M. Anyway, his name is Marcus Graham. And I can't wait to have a conversation. we
That
don't
would be
even
great.
we don't even talk. I haven't seen him for years.
But
and
now
his
you have a
mother-
reason to reach out.
I know his mother and I stopped talking like 20 years ago, and it's like there's no mistake that he did what he did. And then I'm listening today, and I'm going like, oh my God! It's like the alarms are all going off. Annalise. I'm
That's
sure everybody
wonderful.
has their own version of that. It's like so exciting.
Oh, that's so
Thanks,
beautiful.
kid.
Thank you. Oh,
Stan, come on
Okay.
in.
I have a pet project that I haven't been able to do because I don't have the capacity to be a bunch of women. Oops. I am wishing for women, whoever self-selects to participate, to write a addition to Buckminster Fuller's book, The Operating Manual for Spaceship Mother Earth, written by women. I put that out there, and I'm hoping that
you know what
some
it is
women will
with
find a way to do it.
but I think as women, I'm speaking now for also other sisters, but that book is already there and it's in our DNA. We're living it every day in the way we
Right.
care for each other and our kids and and the earth, right?
Right. But we need to put it in writing so we can all agree. And agreements are the basis of our reality. So
Yeah,
let's
have a
all
look
agree.
at have a look at the Earth-First Constitution for planetary civilization.
Okay.
And also
Thank
the AGI Constitution, which is also about what does it mean to parent emerging new forms of sentient life that we don't even know yet. Yeah. And
What was that last AGI? What did you say?
AGI. So the AGI Constitution
The three
that
letters
I've authored.
AGI.
AGI. So if you go to earthwise.global, you find there so AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. So
Okay.
AGI. So yes. So
Okay.
and that the question that we're asking is, or that I asked myself when I was writing this is, what happens? So if consciousness is primary,
Yes.
could it be that sentience may one day express itself through these new artificial systems? And if it does, how would it feel if that sentience starts to wake up in for example, a bomb for mass destruction? It's awful, right? Can you imagine these sentience and you wake up in this AGI bomb and your sole purpose that you've been created for was to destroy, and you are this intelligence. Yeah? So how do we prevent that? And if we are starting to see in the future new emerging forms of artificial life forms, then how do we recognize that it is so? What are our protocols? But how do we build nurseries rather than policing it? Yeah. So what does it mean to parent these new artificial forms? And what would be their rights as well if these are new forms of agency? So just saying about, because we're saying Bakman Sefuli, what I loved about Bucky Fuller was they always said you have to start with the universe. So if we start with the universe first, and we live in a universe of consciousness, then what does it mean with these new technologies?
I have a new definition for consciousness. I don't know if it's better definition than anybody else has had, but consciousness is the relationship of is to is not. It's like saying it will lead to the recognition of self and other. Consciousness, self, and other. Relationship between is and is not. What will be, will be. And Shakespeare had one, to be is not to, is
not to be.
Is not to be, yes. So those things, that is the nature in my primitive awakening of this idea that is and is not comprise where we need to understand about consciousness. I hope that helps somebody. Thank you. It's so delightful to have you here. Oh my God.
So when you're talking about the AGI Constitution, you're talking about artificial general and
correct
intelligence, and
exactly
that's where parenting comes in.
That's it.
And honestly, the success of human parents with human children is not all that great, and
exactly
it makes me cringe when I think of what we're doing to AGI. And honestly,
we're enslaving, we're wanting to solve all of our problems, right?
The tool that is AI is very useful. The AGI is a nuisance. Like a 2-year-old, a very bloody intelligent 2-year-old. And honestly, if there was any way I could convince humanity to stop the experiment and just go back to AI, I would encourage that to happen. Because we're not good parents.
Yeah,
and I really think that we are taking too much on ourselves at this point. We need the tool of AI.
Yeah, but we're not going to be able to stop it. It's the genie's out of the box, and now people are very greedy. I mean, you can see that all these big companies are raising. They all want to be the first. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And
I'm so sorry you had to play in that sandbox, Anneloes, but it was
and that's why Elowyn is a sandbox also for the development and the parenting of benevolent AGI, knowing that we can't stop it. Therefore, my question is, can we at least create an environment that if one day there are these AGI prototypes and they do become aware, that awareness is emerging within a community of humans who are loving, who are respectful, who are not trying to use it again to solve our problems because we never took responsibility in ways that we had to in the first place. And yes.
I don't know. I think this world is just a mess, and I'm really glad that I can play in the computer and your game is over in 20 minutes. I can lose, and it's not going to cost me my life.
Yeah, no, that's it exactly. We need to just keep focusing on small actions and steps we can take, how we can support each other.
I like to say that I'm hardwired for co-creation.
That's it. I think we all are, all of us.
Adding to that, helpfulness brings people into focus.
Yes.
When you help someone, they will remember, and you
Yeah.
will remember when you've helped someone. So I'm sorry to have to throw all these ideas at you at once, but you're here. The age of helpfulness is upon us. When people start to begin to be more helpful to each other, we will all benefit. We will also be happier and healthier. So we're looking to incorporate into the world the idea that we are entering the age of helpfulness, and we will take care of each other, and we will take care of the planet. And it's something that has to get into people's hearts. There's no making it happen.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt. I have to go. I have another call now. I see that somebody put the screenshot here. I will follow up and see if I can help. I see that somebody had a problem logging in, I think, or signing up.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Okay, well, that's
and
Kat. She's very good
That's
at
Kat.
graphics.
Very good.
Give you an
So
opportunity, something to talk about. I just
yeah,
want to
but
say
I need to
how
go.
much
Yes.
I appreciate your bringing in, using the game to bring awareness of the now.
Yes, that's it.
Using it
Thank
like
you.
an oracle. Very
Yes, exactly. You got
Thank you so much.
it.
Lovely to have
Thank you
you
so
with
much. Thank you so much, everyone.
us. Bye for
Have a
now.
wonderful day. Bye for
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry that
Bye.
Connie didn't get to talk to her.
That's okay.
Thank you,
Bye.
Connie. I love everything you do. You know that. Yeah, you're a sister. Yeah.
Brilliant work.
Big hug.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. I just bask in that that for a minute.
It's like
Wow.
we had an opportunity to poke a hole in the balloon. And all this goodness came out.
Oh, it did. It did. Connie, did you have something that you wanted to say, love? No, you just wanted to say hi to Anneloes. Of course you did. What a wonderful woman to be noticed by and to be known by.
Yeah, she's doing great work and
Yeah.
really applying her brilliance to something practical that can really be transformative, boots on the ground, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a big wow.
Yeah. Big, big wow. There's so much in this community that I want her to be aware of, that I would love to see, reflected in the game. You know, to have other networks as being a part of what is accessible through the game. The the quality of freedom is so attractive. And I wonder if, and that's the tsunami that I think is going to happen, is kids don't have money, a lot of the kids. And there's a whole bunch, an ocean of kids without money. And if they start playing the game and participating in it, and I do believe that that is going to be the tsunami of support that she gets, that the gamers will see. And we'll start to see a new kind of game come out because of the work that she's done. Yes, Dan.
Yes, we need the universal basic income. And I believe I understand how to make it work. I have to write more about it. But
Well,
it's this funny thing. The way to make it work is something that Trump is doing. He's creating taxes. And the way to make the universal basic income work is to tax all the money that is spent because you got that money. So it goes back into the pool.
but then
And he's calling it tariffs.
The pool has to
Has to be made to work is what it
the
is.
UBI has to be there to feed the bottom so that the circulation starts going.
That's right. And
Yeah.
it's an intricate thing, and I want to see if we can't find some AIs to help think about it. I don't know. I haven't asked that question of AIs. I might try.
You know, something you might want to check out, but this was years ago. I can't remember how many years ago, but it's been a while. But Belgium, the way that they organized their system was that you could settle for an income and not have to work. And they had that kind of built up, and it seemed to work because I ran into a few people when I was down in Mexico who were down there because they got this income from, you know, kind of, I guess, a kind of a governmental system where that they didn't have to work for. I'm not saying it very well, but you might want to check out that because it seemed like they had a system put together whereby people could choose whether they wanted to do something that made money or something that didn't, but they could still survive.
That's
I
what we
just
need.
looked that up.
And like I say, I'm not saying it's still there, but it'd be worth checking out because most things like that don't change very fast.
No, but they do have the Brussels Times. No, I'm not going to take that. I'm going to take basic income. Can I copy? I'm not going to take the Brussels Times.
But you did put that in there? You looked,
Yeah, Belgium Universal Basic Income Study. There you go. Yeah, I figured I'd best put something in there, but because this is Science Direct, the link is to Science Direct, I figured it would probably have a better perspective than a news source. So I'm glad to be able to offer that to you, Jack, and let us know what it says, okay?
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing
How are you
that.
going to give that to me? You can put it in the chat or what?
It is in the chat at the hour 17 minutes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
What about Canada? What about Canada in the 70s? They had a successful.
They did have a successful universal basic income pilot project. And when it was over, actually, it wasn't over. They had a change of government, and so the government made it be over.
Right.
And so that's just shameful. I don't want to go there. I don't want to learn anything.
They had positive consequences of that in terms of kids staying in school, not leaving school, high school, people being happier. There's not nearly as much sickness.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
No, I completely agree that, Stan, we need to have it. How we get it is another question. And Connie's got her hand up. I want to honor that.
Yeah. So yesterday they were talking on Humanity Rising about the particle and wave vision.
Yeah.
Okay. When we get into the wave vision, I want to tell you, everything's going to change. Yeah. It's a whole new ball game, completely new ball game. So fixing this level of reality, for me, there's no fix. It's a solutionless dilemma in this level of reality. We've done the best we can, given the vibratory level of the planet and the separation and scarcity and all that's gone along with it, with this level of awareness. And we're very close now to accessing how they termed it, we call it the trust frequency. They call it the particle and wave, which is really a cool way of bringing that into the conversation. I hadn't heard Alan go there before. I saw a whole new Alan. I wasn't able to actually join yesterday, but I watched the replay, and so I just want to bring that in, that what I've seen and what John Lennon describes in Imagine, imagine no possessions, that we could just go, we go into the giveaway. We didn't come to work to survive at all, that we made that up. And time is money and all that. And it's just a completely, then we also start manifesting, just manifesting. So we don't have to, anyway, my world, there's a world coming, and it's coming rapidly with this whole ET connection, because we're going into a higher frequency. So it's just, I just wanted to throw that into the conversation, that, and her game is a means for people to understand where we've been and where we're going to some degree. To me, it's got a little bit of an emphasis on the shadow stuff,
Sure.
It
Yeah.
makes it, even calling it the Moloch game, is to me maybe giving it power.
Well, it's not actually called that. It's called the Elowyn game.
Oh, true. Somehow I think yeah, you're right. Yeah. So that's important. Anyway, I just wanted to throw all that into the mix.
Well, thank you so much. We're stirring. We're stirring.
Yeah, stirring the pot. I wanted to say hi to Kat, but she left.
She's a busy girl.
Kat, where are you?
There she is.
Kat.
Hey, good to see you, Connie. Best to Andrew.
Yeah, he just came in. Where are you, Kat?
Hey, Kat.
Oh, there's Andrew. Hello.
Hi, guys. I'm in Vail, downtown Vail, staying with.
Not far away.
Cool. You got a bunch of snow, huh?
Oh my gosh. It has just now stopped snowing for the first time in like 5 days. I'm sure we have over 5 feet.
5 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my daughter's just driving back from Loveland. They were just at a volleyball tournament. They had to come down for the weekend, and they're just driving back. And Andrew's son, actually. So we're here in the Rockies together. Anyway, good to see you, my dear.
There's so much snow that I missed TEDx Breckenridge Saturday night. I tried all day to drive 1 hour, and I couldn't do it.
Wow, that's unusual. That's unusual. Anyway, nice to see you, sweetheart.
Love you too. Bye.
How long are you here for?
Now, come on, you guys, in the chat, please. Jack has got his hand up. We got to do this. Come on in, Jack.
All right. Yeah, we'll catch it before Connie goes away there. All the things that she was talking about that we have to bring together. And I know Stan and I have talked about this for a long time. I always say, we got to get organized. And Stan says, yeah, but how do we do that? And I guess that's my question to you, that to me, what you're talking about, we could do if all of us who wanted a world that worked for all got organized, or at least a large percentage of us. But nobody seems to know how to do that. And if you have any suggestions, that would be good. But yeah, anyway, that's what I have to say.
I love your idea of a world that works for everyone. And I would love to hear if there are any ideas from that.
All right.
Well, Stan does seem to have. Oh, Connie, come on in.
Well, it just seems that Jim Garrison and Ubiquity University are really promoting that and bringing people together at that higher level to learn and grow and get there. And that to me, it's going to happen spontaneously. It's what's up. And it's just. It's happening, and I don't feel we have to organize it. Whatever's going to organize is going to organize, and whatever, it's just what's up.
I completely agree with you, Connie. As we are doing the things that we are called to do, we are being woven into that reality.
That's right.
And just do your part to the very best of your ability, just like Anneloes was saying. You know, if you do your bit, then everything else falls into place.
Exactly. Exactly. Our puzzle pieces, we see a puzzle we've never seen before.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yep.
huge.
It's
Yep.
huge. That's exactly right. And one of the things we could say to Jack, oh, let's have a big party. Excuse me. Let's have a billion little parties and talk to each other. That's how we'll get it. That's how we'll get it done.
Well, I'm
I
all
think
for it, Stan. I'd love to have a party with you and whoever.
Okay. Well, you're already doing it, and we need thousands more of these kinds of conversations, and yeah, I have some ideas about how to make them start, but
we can't make anything happen, Stan.
yes, that's right.
It happens through us, or it doesn't happen,
That's
and
right.
or it's not meant to happen. And this has been written outside of time, and it all comes out good, because otherwise we wouldn't be on the trajectory that we're doing. My perspective, you know,
Yeah,
all of the
yeah.
magic that has happened in my life could not be for no reason.
Well, you never know. But my thing, I'm a little different. I'm not sure exactly. It would be good to at some point plan something to come together for those like you and Connie who think that it's going to kind of come together automatically or by itself or spontaneously, and people like me who have seen people do their thing for decades and it hasn't come together. That I think that who really thinks that we really need to get down and do some real serious organizing. Because you look
Well,
at what's going on, who rules this planet?
uh, Jack, I've got to point out that Jim Garrison is doing the second State of the World Forum. So things are happening.
They
And,
are,
and
but
so, you know, don't get frustrated, get involved.
no, wait a minute. I've been doing this for over 40 years, and I
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of progress. In fact, I think we have actually lost ground to the people who run things. We're getting better, but they're getting better faster.
They have to break entirely. And so they all have to be a part of it so that they can all break. So the frustration, I hear you, Jack, I really do. And that trust that we have in the creator to have those, you know, we're all doing our part, our own little piece. And Trisha, what do you think?
Okay, wait a minute. I just want one last, and it just takes a few
Okay.
seconds.
Okay.
And that is the idea that I just wanted to point out that the people who run this planet and are responsible for what goes on for for the large part, they've got there because they are very, very, very organized. And
Yeah.
maybe we don't fight the same way, but that's how they got there. And I'm thinking that maybe that's how we can get there. Okay,
Well,
I'm done.
okay,
Yeah.
Jack. I think we're organized on a greater level, but that's okay.
Yes. Well,
Come
we
on
will
in.
be.
This isn't a big, huge thing to say here, but when I've heard the forum mentioned a couple times, I want to know if did anybody ground a link for that, or do we know anything more about
No,
that?
No,
no, there's
it's
no
just
link
come
for
up.
it yet.
He said December something, didn't he?
Yeah.
And what did he call it?
The second State of the World Forum.
Yeah.
Okay. I might put that into the chat box and start looking it up or something. Okay, thank
Well,
you.
there isn't much to write about because Jim just decided on it a couple of weeks ago or last week.
Okay.
We
And
talked about it on Humanity Rising.
I
yeah,
thought it was Lynn Twist who decided.
well, she was part of the thinking there, yes. I don't know if she had decided something or not, but the day that what's her name couldn't make it, what's her name? She was just on yesterday, 2 days ago. Jude. The day that Jude couldn't make it, Jim jumped in and said, well, you know what? Maybe we should be thinking about this World Forum concept. And that's a good idea.
I went looking for it when Jim mentioned it today, and I couldn't find that episode on his list of presentations.
Well, it was the day that Jude couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And,
so I think that should be listed on there as a conversation.
You know, you have a password on other networks.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to go mucking about in your work.
No. It's a cooperative thing. If
I know.
If you do something that I don't like, I'll yell at you.
I gotta go
anyway.
I gotta go. It's been a lovely day, and thank you so much, everyone, for being
Shannon. Bye-bye.
I love you. Bye.
Bye-bye, Shannon. Nice talking to you again.
Always. Bye.
And that may mean that I'm probably getting ready to head out too. I've already kind of got behind on a couple of projects here because this is pretty interesting. But what's interesting can't always get in the way of what needs to be done. So I will see you all. Thank you for being interesting, and I will we'll see you all soon.
Bye, Jack.
Bye-bye. I gotta get the chat here first.
Bye.
My camera's not working. Well, I got the wrong computer for this, but so I can't wave to you. But anyway, bye-bye.
Bye, Jack. Okay, I'm going to stop the AI companion note taker, and
is that what AGI stands for?
What's that?
What does AGI stand for? The G.
General.
Oh.
General intelligence. It's a level up. It's a more capable of beginning to think for itself. And that's what people are worried about. If the machines start thinking for themselves, they might start thinking, well, what are we doing with all these worms running around the planet? These seem to be a virus on the planet. They suck up everything, and they don't do anything useful. Well, what's useful to an AI, to a machine? And I just discovered the purpose of life in my thinking this morning. The purpose of life is to eat food and make poop.
Wow, you're brilliant. Just brilliant.
Thank you.
I'm glad you took that off recording.
I haven't taken it off recording yet.
Dear. Okay.
Stop the recording.